Welcome everyone. It's the Dr. D Show. You are tuned in again to another episode of the Dr. D Show podcast. It's your host of the most, Dr. D, in the building. And we got, who's this guy over here?
EK. As always.
EK. So we're trying something out for the first time here, folks. We're doing a video. So hopefully you're going to be looking at a first live broadcast. This one's going to be interesting, man. I've never been on video before. Just lounging in the crib, as you can see. And me and EK decided, you know what, we're going to take a video this time and just show people how we do it exactly. Some people have asked the question, how do these guys do it? Do you just sit down somewhere? I'm like, we'll let y'all see.
Nah, this is just the toned down version, because normally I'm in my own bedroom and you're in another room, and we just make it work.
Well, I'm usually on the shitter, on the crapper, right?
Oh. I was trying to sanitize everything, but okay, fine.
I'm just taking a piss, man. Hey, thank you all for tuning in again. But what are we talking about today, EK? What are we talking about today? It's an interesting one.
Yeah,
I know it's an interesting one. I don't know what we're gonna end up saying, what we're gonna be covering today. I know the topic, but I just have a feeling that this might just be like another can of worms that we're about to just unlid.
The better,
right?
Why not make people talk? Make people have that discussion,
right?
Yeah, make people open their minds and kind of realize some things that happen.
So let me just give a little premise here.
Yeah.
So the other day I was walking my little boy. We went on a walk through the trail on our way back home. We decided to stop at a Tim Hortons. Give the little kid a little snack or something. I grabbed a little bite myself. So we sat down there and we eating. And across the table from us, there was these three young ladies. Like, I swear, they look like they were in their mid-20s, maybe early 20s.
Okay.
And I could kind of overhear one of the girls talking about a guy, right? And the one girl was talking about how the guy gives her his card all the time. If she needs to go buy something, she needs to go do something. He gives her the card, and if she's not there physically, it will send her the card details so that she can use it and do online, whatever.
Oh, credit card?
Yeah, like credit card, debit card, whatever, right? And which I'm cool with. I don't have no problems with it. It's what she said next that actually got my spidey senses tingling. That was just like, So anyway, she said something about, he gives me his card all the time. Well, as he should. As he should, he's a man, as he should do, and if he didn't do that, then we're gonna have a problem. And I was just like, what the fuck? As he should?
Yeah, she's entitled, I suppose, from what that sounds like.
That just sounds like some entitlement, man.
Yeah. Jeez.
I was like, as he should. And that's kind of where I am at today.
Now, did you hear further than that conversation, or they just...
Oh, no, and her girlfriends actually were hyping her up. She's like, man, one of the girl was like something along the lines of how she envies her girlfriend that she can do that, and that she has a guy that like that, and that she can easily, just get away with something like that with a man, and kind of giving her props, I'm just like, what the fuck, man? I was so confused.
No, what type of what kind of ages were you looking at? How old?
Yeah, I was saying they looked like they were early 20s, mid 20s, and this brings me to what I think we want to talk about today: female privilege. Are women today privileged? Are they entitled? Or why do they think they're privileged? Why do they think they're entitled to shit?
No, are those two different things? Entitled and privileged, are they two different things, do you think?
Well, if I'm privileged to do something, it's not you're not in a position where everybody has that opportunity, right?
Yeah, okay.
So only a few get that opportunity.
Okay.
But the problem is, I'm calling it a female privilege because a privilege is supposed to be designed for a few, but in this case, it's only designed for one group, one sex group.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And a lot of this privilege comes with the mentality of entitlement.
Okay. No, as long as one leads to the other, then we can understand that part.
Right. So it's like you have that privilege of saying, for example, women are privileged in the sense that, fuck, man, what was a good example? I want to say healthcare.
Okay.
Healthcare, you want to give birth to a kid, that's usually covered.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a privilege.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Men don't give birth to nothing, but I presume if we have to get some shit taken out of us, we're gonna have to pay for that surgery, right? Depending on how bad it is.
Depends on the situation, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Give me another example. Oh yeah, a great example. Fucking privilege.
Okay.
Insurance. Women typically have a lower rate on insurance than men do because why? Women are safer drivers. They don't get into accidents. They're more responsible because they either are mothers and men are we're the crazy ones. We're the ones that just vroom speed and.
No, that's funny. I didn't know that.
Well, yeah. On statistically speaking, women on average have lower insurance, and that's why. Why do you think if you talk to anybody that knows insurance, they'll tell you, "Oh, you better let your wife put the policy in your wife's name, and you be like a secondary driver." Exactly, you know what I mean. So, that's one example. That's a privilege, if you ask me, right?
Yeah.
But then, if because of that, if a woman starts to think that she's entitled to have a lower rate just because she's a woman, then that's a different story.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's that opportunity for you to have a lower rate because statistically, as a group, they look as a group, and historically as a group, y'all have been better drivers based on claims. Okay. And it's not even saying that they're actually better drivers, by the way. So this is based on claims. On average claims that have been made. Oh, has it been made more by women or by men? It's been made more by men.
Okay.
So statistically speaking, women have lower insurance. So that's a privilege for me. But should they have that privilege? I don't think so. Because if you think about it, way more men own cars than women. So obviously, if there's going to be a fucking insurance claim, there's going to be way more fucking claims coming from men than women.
True.
Does that mean they're better drivers?
No. Just means the stats are
bogus, man.
Yeah, well,
they're designed to make the big man money, but that's not the topic, though. The topic is why do women feel entitled? What is it about today's women day and age that they think that, oh, the man has to do this for me. The man has to, provide. He's got to do this. He's got to buy me this. He's got to pay for that. He's got to bring this to the table. He's got to bring that to the table. I never hear what I'm bringing to the table. I never hear any of those things.
The way I look at it is, sorry, guys are the real problem on this one, in my view.
Right.
Because if you let a habit start and hoping that along the lines you can kind of control it and stop it, it will never happen.
So guys, what do you mean guys? Like people in relationships that like this happen, or can you elaborate?
When you're going to a relationship for some guys,
right,
you try and up your game by doing extra shit that you wouldn't normally do. For example, let's say with your situation on when you're walking your boy,
mm-hmm.
Maybe that guy started off with, oh, you know what? If you need this, it's no problem. Here's my card.
Right.
Then over time, oh, if you need anything, here's my card. Now he's formulated a habit. She's just carrying on with it, and she's seeing it now as she's entitled to it.
Right.
Because the guy has let her use it for.
Yeah, I don't know if that's him telling her that you're entitled to this, man.
No.
Like that's just me. That's just me being a nice guy saying that, hey,
But
you can use my card. Doesn't mean that I don't have to offer it.
Yeah, you don't have to offer it,
but I would expect you as a person, a decent human being, to at some point, if you can afford your own shit, and be like, oh no, it's cool. But, you know what I mean? I don't need it. I got my own money. I'm gonna use it.
The problem with that approach is you're assuming that the other person is going to be
So
the mother of all fuck up to know that
again. So now we can't even blame men. So now what you're saying is that the woman is selfish enough to want to just continue to breastfeed or suck off this guy's fucking financial titty.
Well, if you fail to realize this is the
even though she might be in a position to take care of herself, but because this man's making an offer, she's not going to say nothing. So how's that the man's fault then? That's just her being selfish, though.
Why start by offering your card? Can't you offer a little bit of cash?
Yeah, you can offer it now and then, but if it's just, again, nice gesture.
Okay.
It was like, here's my card. Doesn't mean you gotta abuse that shit.
Yes. Okay.
She's the one abusing it.
Let's say, here's my card. Once you're done using it, you take back your card, and that's it.
No, it's cool. Thanks. I'll use my card today. Okay. She can easily say that shit, right?
She can, but if an opportunity presents itself,
that's what I'm saying. Being an opportunist, man, and then the opportunist mentality is derived because of this privilege shit.
No, not necessarily. We start this whole crap by trying to be seeming like the nice guy instead of just being honest and saying, you know what kind of person are you? Okay, I'm this kind of person. Do you need help? Yep, I'll give you help. But no, here's a card.
What if that was not the situation, though?
No, we're looking at circumstantial.
What if the guy was just rich enough and she wasn't financially, in that position, and he just wants to here's my card.
Okay, no, that situation.
As a woman, should you always just milk that?
No, it's not all women who milk it.
In this situation, it sounded like that's what it was. It sounded like she was sounding entitled.
Yeah,
she was like, "Oh, if he didn't do it, then we're gonna have a problem." She's gonna walk or something. Like he's gonna be the one losing.
Okay, mind you.
If anything, you'll be gaining because he ain't gotta fucking spend his money now on your broke ass every time, right? But that's what I'm saying, though. Like she sounded like she was entitled. She was like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna do this. He's gonna do." Like no.
But then again,
if you're not bringing anything to the table, what makes you feel that you privileged?
But then again, we have to look at a different side too.
Only a few, select few, in a man's world who have that title of this woman or queen or woman.
Sorry to sound like
whatever.
Sorry to sound like a buzzkill on this one, but there's one thing we're forgetting too.
What?
With that particular situation, we don't know what kind of relationship they have between the two of them. Maybe that's what works for them.
Right.
And yeah, we sit here arguing that it's privilege. But
no, man. Dude,
maybe it works for them.
It works for them, but yeah. So you're saying that in that situation, she shouldn't sound entitled because it works for them?
Well,
she still sounded entitled. Is my point. She still sounded like she deserved that. And I'm looking at this girl, and I'm like, I don't see anything special about you that you would say you deserve that. You know what I mean?
Maybe she does deserve it. What they do behind closed doors, we don't know. Just saying.
Whatever.
Maybe she's working the pole quick, nicely. So
she's polishing that.
Polishing the knob. You never know.
Yo, don't kill me, man.
Just say it.
Okay, so forget that situation. We want to say, okay, we don't know what's in that situation because again, fine. I don't know the whole dilly, but the shit that I know in society, society has given women a lot of privilege. Ask any man, what comes first in society? They'll tell you. They'll be like, what? What is it? The woman, the child, and the pet, and then the man, right? It's so fucked up that they will say the woman, child, the dog, or the pet, whatever it is, and then the man. The fact that the woman comes before the child even blows my brain. When they say when people respond to that, it tells you like people, their minds are so wired to understand that women are so valued and in society as hot commodity that heaven forbid shit should go down with them, that the whole world will stop. And that's what I'm saying. We in society, even just think about it, we're so in tune to think that women are entitled to this stuff. But the question is why? Why are they entitled? Yes, you give birth to kids. Yes, you raise kids 9 months. I get it.
Okay.
But what if you're not doing any of that? Then what? What makes you entitled?
Okay, but majority of the women are in that class where they have childbearing and whatnot. Majority.
I'll say probably like 40, 50% of women.
Higher than 50.
No.
If it's just
not higher than 50.
Okay, let's say it's 50.
There's a lot more women in the world than men. And right now, I'll say probably less than 50%, probably about 50% men are probably still single right now.
Okay, fair enough.
And without kids.
No.
So, yeah.
My thing is, if there are more women than men,
right?
Okay, we have to give them the respect that they deserve.
Why?
Because
we're the rare commodity.
Yeah, we can't be the rare commodity.
What kind of fucking law of demand and supply are you working with, man?
Okay, no. Just curious.
When there's less, this price goes up.
Okay.
So how is it that when there's more, we fucking have to be the one we giving them more high value?
For us to build generations.
That's not demand and supply, man. That's against that counteracts economics.
For us to build generations.
Right.
You as a man, you to build a generation. What do you need?
What do I need? I need a child.
Okay. And
right.
To get the child, what happens?
Well, it's a woman, but it doesn't mean that she has to be entitled.
You have to price her.
Price her as what?
That hot commodity that you're saying.
No, I don't have to because there's a lot of options. If one doesn't, it's a Jeep, and then you go to another one, yo.
Yes, but the thing is, you're dancing from one option to the other.
You're not dancing from one to the other. You will find one.
Yeah, you will find one, but the thing is,
don't let me get biblical on your ass right now.
Go ahead.
Because the Lord said, man, go into the world and multiply. Man.
Okay. Can you multiply without them?
But you can multiply. You can't multiply without them, but you can multiply. I'm not saying you have to settle with one person.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Just as a broader thing, if they are needed, then we have to value them as that commodity that's hot, as we value ourselves as hot commodities too. So
so what? They don't want kids.
They want kids too.
Exactly. How they going to get kids without a fucking penis, without with a sperm in there? How they going to get that?
Do we need to go back to biology?
I can have the same argument with what you're saying. But they can value us as hot shit too. Plus, on top of that, we fucking weigh less than them.
Oh, Jesus. I'm not going to be drawn into that one.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. You got me all messed up on this. You're going to argue and tell me that women are not privileged? Come on, man.
No, I didn't say they're not privileged.
Some women probably listen to this right now, shaking their head like, yeah, we know we are.
There's a reason why they have that privilege. There's a reason why they have it. We as guys, we have accepted it. Was it right or wrong? I don't know, but we've accepted it as normal.
Yeah, I don't think it's normal, and I know why.
Normal. We've accepted it as normal,
and I'll tell you why.
Okay,
I know why, but I'll get to it in a bit. I know why, and I'll dissect this shit for you, and it'll make sense to you in a bit. But like, why is that privilege though? Like, why in society? I don't get it. Like, where in society over time did we decide that this is how the norm was? What happened to the saying of, oh, it's a man's world? You don't hear that shit no more.
Times are evolving too. You have to understand that part too.
You don't hear people say it's a man's world no more.
Yeah, because
nowadays men don't even have the balls to just go out and say whatever they want to women.
There you go.
Then it's assault.
No.
Because the rules have changed too. Because there's legality now. You can get your ass sued.
You came with a good point. You said, now what?
What, men can just go?
Not before that.
I don't know.
You said men cannot.
they can't just go and say whatever they want.
Why not?
Because of the law, man. You
Okay.
get locked up. That's what I mean. The legality is fucked shit up.
Okay.
Society
Now, for the major
is part of another reason why women are privileged.
Oh, but let's look at it this way. For time immemorial, who has been making these laws? Mostly males or females?
It's fucking a mix of both, man. The political parties, is the people we voted in that are making these laws.
But I'm saying, let's say from the
1950s
backwards.
Yeah,
that's when majority of the laws were made.
Yeah, but you forget that lawmakers are influenced by freaking social groups, like freaking feminist groups and shit. You forget that they're influenced by those people too, right? You have those people in their constituencies. Those people, if they put enough pressure, obviously going to impact your laws and decision making.
That's what I was saying before. That times are changing.
Yeah, it's BS times, and it's just this is where the whole thing started for me. This thing started from parenting.
Okay.
It started from fathers.
Okay.
And that's the only part of this whole conversation I'm going to agree with you on, that men are to blame, but men are not to blame in the sense that how you brought it. Men are to blame in the sense of fatherly figures.
We'll go back to that.
And I'll break it down. There's two parts of that. Fatherly figures in the sense that you're father to a child or a girl, and you're present in that child's life, whether you're in the marriage or whether you're co-parenting. Yeah. You're present, you're there.
Yeah.
You have that kid.
Yeah.
Where do you think the saying "daddy's little girl" came from?
Daddy had a girl, and she was little.
yeah. We can say that daddy's little boy. Daddy had a boy. He was little. We can say the same thing, right? But where do you think that saying came from? Daddy's little girl.
Educate me.
Well, you think about you got to use yourself.
Oh fuck no! I'm too lazy to think.
No, you have to use yourself.
Yeah.
When you think of your youth, don't think of her as my little girl?
She's my little girl.
Why do you think of her as your little girl?
Because I'm there as a protector. I am that head that will always protect her as much as I can.
Okay.
As long as I can.
Okay, so you've put that guard and protection over her.
Yeah.
Okay, now she's gonna grow up with that guard and protection over her, right?
Yeah.
She's gonna understand that this male person is that guard and protection over her.
Yeah.
And she's gonna expect and get used to that and look at every other man and think that yes, they should have that guard and protection over her.
I see that, yeah.
So now she's growing up with the understanding that I'm entitled. I deserve to have this guard and protection over me.
Yeah.
Because the person who brought me into this world has provided and put that guard and protection over me.
Okay.
And at one point in time, did they cut that guard of protection off? Never. Because in your eyes, they're always your little girl. Yeah. Even when they get fucking 50 or 30 and walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from. We've put that as parents, that shelter.
Yeah.
Daddy's little girl, come here. I want to protect. Oh, baby girl, you deserve this. Here you go. Oh, baby girl, you need this. There you go.
Okay.
Daddy's little girl.
Okay.
That's one half of why I think it is.
Second point.
The second part, fatherhood again. But again, in this sense, you're an absent father.
Okay.
You were not there. Right?
Yeah.
So now the girl doesn't have that figure in her life, doesn't understand or doesn't know what that is like. So she's grinding and had to do it all by herself, or had to watch her moms do it, or had to maybe learn from another man that her mom's is dealing with.
Yeah.
Right? And that in its own is going to devalue a man in her eyes.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So for her now, she's worth more than a man, because a man was never there to step on the plate.
Okay.
So now she's grown up with understanding that she's number one. And her mindset is in not deliberately, but subconsciously put herself first.
Okay.
She's now selfish without
good.
even knowing it.
Yeah.
That every time I deserve this. This should be mine. This should be this. You should do that. You should do this.
Yeah.
And that's where I think personally all that shit came from. And we men are to blame.
Okay. So
and we need to start looking at how it is that we are as men raising our daughters, how we are as men communicating with females, what it is that we're letting them get away with, what it is that we're drawing the line. And there's that fear of being politically incorrect about shit that we've lost our balls and voice and how to be men anymore. We just take a backseat role and we just backseat drivers and we let them drive.
See, I've brought this point several times in our discussions before. I think the gap that's been created, we can be males and females, whatever, coexisting, you name it. There is lacking communication and openness.
Right.
We communicate as in we talk, but we don't listen to each other.
Yeah.
Because if we had that conversation, we would be in a different place.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'll go back to your situation where you heard this conversation, overheard this conversation. Maybe if there had been that conversation between that couple, this is a maybe, just thinking out loud. If they'd had that conversation, she probably would have come out amongst her friends saying, oh, this is my other half or my partner's card,
right,
that I'm using sparingly. If they'd had that conversation,
right,
she would have addressed the situation differently. Even though she was trying to impress her friends, which is what I think, she could have done it differently.
Right.
If there's that conversation between couples to respect each other's whatever they bring to the table.
Right.
If the money, the emotional support, whatever they bring to the table, if that conversation has been had, there's bound to be more respect for that other person.
Right.
And what they bring to the table. It would pretty much cancel out this whole thing of feeling entitled.
Yeah.
Because there's that respect.
I think respect is there, but again, like to that situation that I overheard, the problem I have with that is now she's put in her friend's mind that this is the standard that I should be looking for now. So now her friends are going to get up there and leave that coffee shop thinking in their head that, yes, I'm entitled to. And this is how it should be. Oh, it's happening for her. Why not me?
Yeah, that planting of the seed, that's a bad start.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's entitlement. It's something that we as a society, we as men, I think the change will have to come from us.
True.
But will have to come from us, and we'll also need the women to be able to acknowledge that, yes, there's such a thing as female privilege. The women will need to humble themselves and...
I'll rather prefer using entitlement. Because
female entitlement, fine.
Yeah.
Female entitlement, women are entitled.
That whole entitlement where they feel that they have to, that's the part that's just now.
Right.
What role does the school have to play? What do you think?
The school?
Yeah, the school system.
The fuck the school system gonna do with that?
No.
Well, the society's again, society, we can't do nothing about how society is setting this shit up.
No, but
what we can do is from us individually, and once we start to do that individually, it's going to spread and eventually become what society wants, and then the rules have to change. It's got to start from one and spread and become all, and then from all, rules change.
Okay.
The schools, you can't do shit about the schools. Look at the schools, man. When the schools are trying to fucking ban this and that education, or trying to bring in this education, bring in all this nonsense that we can't even control. Schools are trying to tell you that, oh, it's okay to be gender neutral or whatever. It's like,
See, here's my concern, because let's say kids start school at 9 o'clock,
right,
9 to 3 or whatnot. They spend majority of the day without being amongst their parents,
right,
who have that extra input or extra push to mold these kids.
right,
They spend majority of the time at school learning shit from their friends. Yes, they're learning good stuff, but some of the bad stuff, it's shit amongst friends.
right.
Just like the situation at the coffee shop, one person says something and it spreads. Could there be any sort of system in schools that you think might be able to kind of curtail that part? Any biblical studies, anything?
Well, you can't really do biblical studies just because
No, I'm just saying. I'm just asking you.
The only thing I can see is through your like school counselor or whatever. But again, those folks don't really do shit. Please don't come. Don't come for me either for saying that. But yeah, I don't see how the school system is going to help. The only way the school system is going to help is if there is a class. There is a class taking on gender roles. Have a class on gender roles and a class that talks about the history of gender roles and where the gender roles originated from and why it was like that from the jump.
Okay. See,
right?
That's what I was driving at.
That's what we need. But the question now is, who's gonna vote to let their kids study gender roles?
That's another
you sure ain't gonna have no feminist mom telling Michael, yeah, Michael, go ahead and go to class and learn about gender roles. You ain't gonna have that happening. Right?
That's another topic on its own.
And that's why I said, man. But yeah, EK, man, great conversation.
As always.
Pleasure. Female entitlement, female privilege. Thank y'all for listening in. If you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to give us a shout. Check out the Instagram page. The handle is The Real Dr. D Show. The Real Dr. D Show. That's the Instagram handle. You can also check out our website, www.drDshowpodcast.com. You can check out for more snippets, check out episodes for more updates as well. EK, any last words?
As always, don't stop learning. Don't stop learning.
And you know what I'm going to say? Always be kind to one another. Don't do what I'll do. And I'll catch you on the flip side.